First, I want to congratulate George Mason. They're a really, really talented team, especially offensively. Great coach in Vanessa, and there's a reason they're one of the top teams in our league. With that being said, I'm really, really proud of our kids with the way they fought and came back. Just came back a little bit short on a box out offensive rebound, that we gave up at the end, but being down 14 with 4 plus or 5 and change to go, really happy. Any other game, we don't come back. It stays at 15 or 16 and we take the loss, but today they fought and we can build on that. So really proud of the effort today and really proud of our execution down the stretch. We have not been able to get the ball where we wanted it, with who we wanted it in the past in close games. We have not, and today we did. We just didn't make the shots we needed to at the end. But as far as the execution goes and the defensive changes we made in the second half with certain players and ball screen, really happy with how we implemented that. That's what got us back in the game, and our press. Speeding them up a little bit, getting them out of their comfort zone. But proud of our kids, but hats off to George Mason. They did a really, really nice job.
Coach, it seemed like you controlled the tempo in the first quarter, and then it slowly started to get away from you guys, started to dig a little bit of a hole, and then at one point down 14 points. From your angle, from your position, what do you think led to that, and what do you think that you can do in games moving on to keep that from happening?
Number one, you got to guard your yard for 3, and they got some really talented offensive players that can go spread you out, go 5 out, and they're just taking you off the bounce. And so until we could have a time to make some adjustments to take that away, it's really hard to guard, especially if they're making shots. And so that's what good offensive teams do. If you got a kid that can go, a la Sebastian Thomas, they can make plays. And first half, number 2, Walton was making some really, really nice plays for them. They have a couple kids. They have 14, they have 3, and they have 2 that can all do that. And so we threw some zone at them. We threw quick hedges at them. We threw switches at them. We threw reds, ball traps. The trapping kind of disrupted them a lot. And then they went to the 5 out to take away no ball screen action so they could take you off the bounce. So it kind of was a chess match back and forth. And then we threw the press on in the second half. And I think that's what disrupted the rhythm a little bit. Once we figured out our coverages on all their 5 out, I think that it just took a halftime to get regroup and change our coverages on ISOs and also on ball screen.
And then over the last 2 games, 3-point shooting hasn't been particularly great, and in the first half it wasn't great either, 12.5%. But then you were able to kick it into gear, shooting around 40% during the second half. When you know the caliber of 3-point shooters you have on your roster with Katie and Sophie and Sophia Vipal, how do you keep them confident when you go through a stretch of 2 games or a few quarters where the ball is not really falling and you want to keep them to keep shooting, but you also don't want them to take desperate or bad shots that put you in a bad position?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. According to analytics, or to me, we have 2 real 3-point shooters, and it's Sophie P and it's Honey. There is no other real 3-point threat on this team. Their kids will take them, and then it's, are they going to make it or they're not? But they weren't recruited here to be, that's their specialty. It's not.
Yeah.
If they make them, it's an added bonus. But we had the adjustments if the shot wasn't falling. Especially, I thought they were going to double Honey a little bit more than they did, or Ala. They gave us the points on the block. They didn't really send doubles too much. But we had the adjustment because Davidson did it, and we had no. Inez and Sophie B struggled. We shot, I think 3 for 24 against Davidson. Today we had an adjustment. If they were going to double, we had something we were going to go to. Unfortunately, we didn't have to. But for our shooters, it's more about the coaches getting them open. They know they're to take open threes. Honey and Sophie P have the green light at all times. Our other players do until a certain point hits in the game. We have to make an adjustment. But how you get shooters the confidence when they're struggling is you just, as a coach, you believe in them. You still diagram plays, make them screeners, poppers, get them open, and you still go to the well. Eventually, real shooters figure it out. And Sophie P struggled immensely in the non-conference. I mean, she was struggling. Eventually, she figured it out. You know, she's making them again. Honey, same thing. Honey can shoot the three, and so it's just getting them the right shots, good shots, and having confidence in them. Your team does, and your coaching staff does.
Tammi, what did you see on the jump ball?
What's that?
What did you see on the jump ball?
You miss the box out. You know, you gotta, if you hit contact and you hold, she comes over the back. But when you don't hit and you give an even to the ball, you know, that, for me, it's a missed box out. You know, you've got to get a box out on that. You cannot give up a jump ball or an no board on that. You just can't. And so, you know, it's a teaching moment for them. It was everyone on the line saying, be in the moment. Don't worry about, are we calling it? The point guard will worry about the timeout. She's communicating with me. Everyone has to be in the moment. And everyone on that line should have been saying, hey, time and score. If she makes it, we're down this. If she misses it, we're down this. We're getting a box. And we gave that up. But it was a jump ball. It was a jump ball.
The prior possession, you're down 3, and Vital goes to the rim for a layup. The discussion in the huddle there, just get our best look as quickly as we can. Were you necessarily looking for a 2 or a 3 there?
You know, in the past, I've always diagrammed the 3, and it's not worked. And what we've been practicing in practice is the best look. There's plenty of time on. Get the best look possible. And then we're going to throw our press on. We had a lot of fouls to give, a lot. So it was go for the steal and tie up as much as we could, get them to burn their timeouts. And then, you know, hopefully they'll miss a free throw, or we still have a timeout, we'll advance the ball, and we have a shot at 3, depending on time and score. The only mistake I think myself and my coaching staff made is I should have had someone in and out for Sophie V. Not change match, but keep her, you know, not let her foul out. That's the only, you know, we try to learn as coaches as well, and I'm trying to diagram it. Let's go in and out so we still keep her in the game. Because I really wanted that unit on the floor together, because they got us back in the game. So that's probably the only thing I think that from a coaching standpoint that, you know, really unhappy with at the game. But everything else, you know, we made the right adjustments. I was really proud of the coaching staff too for this game on all the adjustments we made, because there was a lot in game, from different ball screen coverages, doubles, we call it blue, pressing, we went zone. Like, we threw the kitchen sink at that team to try to disrupt them. Worked to a certain degree, but in the end, players make plays, and I think it was 15. Volker made a really big play, and she's a hustle kid. Kudos to her. You know, that's what she does. She's a glue kid, so, you know, learning moment for us.
We were down 14 with 7 minutes left. How did you keep from frustration and settling?
You know, that's one good thing about this team. No matter what our record is, no matter win, lose, they always just play. They always show up to play, to compete. They don't get lost in weeks ahead, or who's the next game, or God, we lost 5 in a row, or we won 3 in a row. They never get too high and they never get too low. They just want to get better. And, you know, when you're not where you want to be, you have to have a mindset like that. Like, every day, show up. Like tomorrow in practice, they're going to show up and they're going to be ready to prepare for VCU. They're going to be ready. It's the one good thing about a team like this. So even in the second half, they'll come out, they'll give you everything they got. And, you know, I told them, that's what I'm most proud of, is they don't quit. They never quit. We could lose 5 in a row, we could be down 15, and you'll have kids playing their heart out. And I thought the kid that did that for us, player of the game, won the chain today, was Inez off the bench. She was that fire and that spark where I had a couple kids that kind of blank stares. She believes, she's like, put me in, coach, I'll turn it around defensively. Got a couple huge steals out of our press, made things happen. And, you know, those are the type of kids you need. You know, that's what you win with. And that's what you lose with. And I can lose with that. I can't lose with people who quit. Whether it's a staff or whether it's a team, you don't lose with that. You know, and today, again, I'm proud of how we played. I'm unhappy we took the L. But that's what you need to be competitive every night. That's the gusto, and that's the one thing that this team does have. They don't quit.
Go ahead, sorry.
You know, at the end of November, I think it was after the Brown game, you were talking about you were still trying to figure out who gets the ball, and big late game situations. Do you think the team's figured it out? And if so, what was the process behind that?
Well, I think they know the roles a little bit more defined now, you know, where Honey, you know the ball's going into Honey. You know Honey's gonna touch it because Honey can score. Honey can shoot it, she can stretch the floor, she can also score on the block. You know Sophie P can shoot it, you know the ball's gotta be, we run a lot of ball screen action because our point guards can make those plays and get the ball to where they need to go. It was, you know, kind of defining some of the question marks, AD, Palmier, Awa, you know, people like that is like, where analytically, where's your go-to spots and what's your role gonna be? And I think Awa's proved that she can, you know, she can score on the block. She's, you know, we can go to her at times. And, you know, the question mark for us is the bench. What are they gonna give us? They're still searching, you know, I need AD to be more aggressive. I want her to be more aggressive. You know, passing up shots and stuff, you know, you can't do it. We have too many kids that they play off of. And so I need Palmier and AD and Ayana to be a little bit more aggressive when they get minutes. And, you know, that's kind of, they're still searching for that. Where are my spots within the offense? So we've got some roles defined, and we're still searching for the other ones.
Hindsight being what it is, the way you guarded them early, did you need to be leading by more?
Yes. We struggled to score. We missed a lot of bunnies in the first quarter. So when I think it was like 8-4. We should have been up 4 or 6 more. And then the second quarter defensively was abhorrent. We gave up 29 points. I mean, that we usually hold teams to that and a half. And so, you know, we were really discombobulated at times. People were in different coverages. They weren't on the same page. And they were getting a little bit frustrated with each other on that. And again, it took halftime to calm us down, to make some adjustments, but we definitely should have been up 4 to 6 more points in that first quarter because we missed a lot of bunnies.
And you know, what did Mason do that challenged the team? And then on the flip side, what do you think your team did that challenged them?
You know, I think Mason offensively being extremely skilled, you know, being able to make plays. Like there's nothing you can do against that. When you got a player, you know, ask anyone who's guarding Michael Jordan or anyone who's guarding Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or Kyrie Irving, or ask them. They're one-on-one isolations. At some point, there's nothing you can do. We can run doubles, but they have a lot of talented offensive players. They can put some points on the board. So that in itself is hard for us. Not the fact of, you know, ball screen action or pin downs or things like that, just guarding. When you go 5 out and you got to keep Kennedy Harris in front of you, number 3, or 14 Suarez, or 2 Walton, it's difficult. And then because they can shoot the 3 so well, you double, you're going to give up something. So you had to pick your poison with them. We tried to spread it around. Take 2 away, here comes 3. Kennedy just went to work in the second half. Take 3 away, here comes 14. So, you know, their skill set, they've got all the pieces. You know, I think depth is the only thing Mason's missing. They get in foul trouble in the bigs. They have a hard time guarding. Defensively, I thought, you know, Davidson gave us a lot more problems. You know, defensively, I think this Mason loves to score. I don't think, you know, defense is a thing. If you watch him in their last Richmond game, it was like an offensive explosion both ways. So we enjoy that because it's not a juggernaut for us to score. So, you know, us getting the ball on the block, you should be able to make layups. And we did. We pounded the block as much as we could today. Whether it was out of bounds plays, things of that nature, we really tried to pound the block and get the ball to our 5s. So I think, you know, defensively, I think our coverages, mixing our coverages bothered them a little bit. But, you know, offensively, I think they can get a bucket anytime they want. They can go 1-4 flat and get a bucket. They've got the personnel to do it. So, you know, that hurts us a little bit when they go 5 out.
This was your only home game out of 5 in this stretch. Just how difficult is this?
Going on the road for a while, you know, it's your perspective, how you look at it. Travel's always difficult in the winter, but, you know, this team, again, we don't mind being on the road, but Getting George Mason at home and then going on the road for 4 games, yeah, it's a difficult stretch. But again, it's how you look at it. You know, we flip the page and we're going down to VCU, and it is what it is. You know, every team, you know, I think there are times where I think we're coming off 3 games, Candy, where, you know, the other team's waiting for us. They have a bye week 3 times. So they're prep, you know, but everyone has that. Everyone's got difficulty in schedule. So, you know, it's how you handle it. It's how your perspective to your team. And so, you know, we love the Ryan Center, but it's not like we're winning every game home either. So, you know, I don't mind going on the road either. So, you know, it's getting them mentally prepared for no matter what. And again, this team they don't really care. They don't get too high, don't get too low. It's next one, and this is what we have to do. So again, that's what I like about this team. They're not a bunch of, you know, prima donnas. They don't get too mental with all that kind of stuff. Us coaches sometimes do, and then we exude it onto our team, but they're pretty good with whether we're home or away.
Any other questions for Coach?
Last thing, just what do you think you can learn from the last 2 games and bring it with you on that road stretch?
I think we learned from Davidson a great deal, not just our players, but our coaching staff. You know, the one thing we looked back is we really didn't have a plan B for ball screen coverage. And if you watch that game, they run 80% ball screen offense. If they're not in transition, they run 5 out or 80% ball screen. And, you know, Issy Morgan just diced us on the ball screen. We switched or we plugged, didn't matter, but we really as coaches went to the drawing board, and we had different coverages taught for different personnel for this game. I mean, again, it was a chess match, and for us, it really to help this team, and coaches have to be on point. You know, with a team that isn't as experienced or isn't where they want to be, you as a coaching staff have to be really good. You can't let your kids not be good and you not be good as well. So it's really making the right adjustments as a coaching staff, and, you know, learning from those, and then making the kids believe that this is going to work. And they believe today that all the different things we were going to do was going to work, whether it was pressing, whether it was trapping ball screens, hard hedging ball screen, switching ball screens, and they believed. And I think we were much better at that than last game. And now you got to pick a poison again. Now, is it rebounding? Because we did not box out. We give up 14 O boards, and we do not do that. We hold teams under 10. So now it's this poison. We got to clean that up against VCU, or they're going to torch you on the O boards. And so, you know, every game you'll have your game goals. This game we did pretty well taking care of the ball. We got the shots we wanted. We did not finish plays with the rebounding. But every game, you know, again, we'll go to the drawing board with VCU, and every game's a little bit different. You know, how are we going to come back? They struggle to score at times too. So now it's, you know, what are we going to have to do to be able to be successful and get that win down at VCU?
Awesome. With that, thank you very much, everyone. Have a great rest of your Sunday.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Natalie.